A very important session. It's all about agriculture in the African continent. And of course, this is a journey that started from 2003 in Maputo all the way to the AU heads of states in Malabo. And of course, now the culmination in Kampala in Uganda and back here right in Johannesburg. But joining us now is Commissioner Vilakati, really just to give us a sense about the significance of today. Commissioner, we know that agriculture really should be at the center of development. Tell us about the importance of today.
Thank you very much. Today's event is very, very important in the African calendar, particularly at AUC. In one of the things is that we are looking at agriculture, which is the cornerstone of the development in Africa. Africa in general is agrarian. And therefore, that means we've got to be pushing the agriculture agenda at all costs. Today is about domestication of the Kampala Declaration. As you have rightly pointed out, it started in 2003. And unfortunately, up to today, we have not moved to the level where we would be saying we have reached Uhuru. There are a number, obviously, of reasons. But there are some countries that have progressed, which we are very excited about. Others are still at, infant stages. One of the major reasons is that they've not domesticated what is part and parcel of the Kampala Declaration, because it states clearly you have got to do A, B, C, D. And if we were to try to do that, I'm sure in about 10 years from now, Africa would be able to feed itself, which is why this day is very, very important.
And obviously, Commissioner, we know Agenda 2063 is very clear about Africa's self-reliance in terms of peace, in terms of prosperity as well, and food security for that matter. But of course, a very challenging context where we've seen the U.S. cutting off the aid to so many countries and really exposing some of the glaring challenges that we have. And of course, we saw with COVID-19 as well and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But let's look at, the geopolitics that we find ourselves in. How can Africa build that self-sufficiency?
The geopolitics that is obtaining right around the world, not only from the U.S., because it has got ripple effects. If one country cuts down on the support that it has been giving to various countries, they start looking and saying, hey, where is our priority? Now, if we look at this situation, it means now we've got to start looking inward. Because I think before the issue of partnerships, donors, etc., depending on how you want to look at them, it was very, very more pronounced. In particular, if you look at the initial stages of the CARTEP program, it was more about expenditure. If we expend so much, then this is what's going to happen. So it was looking at probably a pool of finances coming in. But this is now changing. It is now saying inwardly, what is it that you can do? I like the statement that was made by one of the donor partners who was saying, where are the national banks? Because the money is just revolving there. To what extent will they are they involved in agricultural processes? To what extent are pension funds being involved in agriculture? Because before they go and actually count the monies, they must have eaten. So I think it's about time that there's a mindset that changes to say, let's put agriculture at the front, not at the periphery of what we do. If we do that, we will make this continent to be self-reliant because it has got the land, the good soils, by the way. It has got the water in most areas. And it has got the expertise. It has already trained some of us to ensure that we can deliver when it comes to production all the way up to fork and knife.
Before we let it go, Commissioner, obviously I would imagine some challenges. We still have pockets of conflicts. I mean, you look at the eastern parts of Congo, you look at the Sahel, and many other areas as well. I would imagine that's another key area that Africa must fix and be very peaceful and be able to thrive in this regard.
Part of the Agenda 2063 talks to the issue of peace in Africa. And the AU Commission, has spent considerable amounts of money, member state money, funds, trying to look at the conflicts in Africa. Unfortunately, if they resolve this one just comes up, that one comes up. But when you start looking at most of these conflicts, they are centered around resources. And some are also centered around food security, because if people are food insecure, they will be angry and they will want to fight. Later on, the others on minerals, etc., some of which are not born from Africa, but they are born from outside. And then we then, as Africans, start fighting, yet there's somebody who is instigating that from somewhere else.